everybody, welcome to Wednesday Night Fun with Hannah and guest coach slash last year's coach, Dan Wilson. Woohoo!
Hello, everybody.
We have managed to figure out how to watch something at the same time and speak at the same time, so hopefully this will work.
Yeah.
We are gonna go through, we've made a little clip montage from lots of different clips to go through and just look at people playing frisbee. It's all
Bears clips.
Yeah, all Bears clips. So you can spell offence wrong.
Oh yeah. No, this is entered by Hannah. Hannah's
No, it's not.
spelling mistake. What was this one? So this is from Leaves Me Stairs in our first year, so 2 years ago. As you see, Chai down disc, swings it to Akash. The levers, being older and lazier, even though it's a windless day, are playing a zone. And so this clip is in here because there's some quite good zone offense by the stayers.
There's some good zone defense as well, to be honest.
So that was a nice positioning by Chai to come across and get the dump. Oh, this was sad by Harry. Why did Harry? Oh, I went too far back. The swing came out. No one was there early enough, so Carver stops looking. But Harry could have just stayed here because no one's come to pick him up and just gains yards by Carver throwing it round. One defender. So don't run away. You're free. In a zone, if you're free, just stand still. If they can swing it and get it to you, that's good.
Yeah. See a classic arrowhead zone going on. So is it who's this? Harry in the middle in red.
Here, yeah, Harry Fitter.
He's doing a pretty good job.
He's doing a pretty good job, but this is a good bit. I've paused it because who's this? Paddy? I don't know. Yeah. Paddy's just pulled Harry out wide, and I think this is Dan Brown here has seen that, so he's gonna attack this space, and Akash on disc is gonna slot it nicely to him. So good vision by Dan Brown to see the gap, and good selfless play by Paddy to draw Harry out. And then, yeah, it's just a sad turnover. And some sad spike ball.
Some spike ball. Nathan getting cross.
This game, this is, again, from that same year, Bears 1 Men v Trent 1. Extremely windy day. If Carver can only pull half pitch, you know it's windy. And we're currently going downwind, so Trent should be aware of a deep cut. If you look, this is Minter, and I think this is his defender. The defender is actually quite far off, so a lot of the time you will just go straight deep from there, but to make it easier for the thrower, Minter does a very good cut, which I'll just show and then go back and talk about it.
What is bad about this though? That's real bad. The stack is super close together. It's like pick central.
Yeah, it is true.
If you want to cut break side, that was not going to happen.
So anyway, the cut I liked and why it's clipped in here is Minter's pushed his defender under, knowing that as long as the defender stays on that side of him, Minter will get free as soon as he turns and goes deep. So he does that, making the throw a lot easier. And it was a good thing.
A little bit of argy-bargy. Push him a little bit forwards.
Nah, that was just Minter turning real quick.
Good job it's Nottingham Trent and not just Nottingham. Although they probably would have called a foul on that.
No, there's only one guy at Nottingham who'd call a foul on it. We all know his name. This one. Oh. So, this is quite a mess. It started, if I can go back like a second, because they actually set up a clamp on the stack. Hence that person's down there. You see this person standing break side, someone standing deep. And so it was very effective for them, and we weren't sure what to do against it. And so we tried to cut, yeah, their drone cameraman isn't that good, and I just decided there was no options I could throw to, so started the dump quite early. Akash coming back, I didn't manage to break the force, but as he went for the up the line, don't know his defender bit really hard. So if Henry's watching, he can back me up when I said I really hate that bounce back. But in that scenario, I was very thankful that Akash did do it, and I could get the short around break to him. But
yeah, there's very few scenarios. Most of the time, you should just abandon and go up the line. But because of the positioning of the next person in stack, the front of stack, whose defender is pretty far towards the disc, so therefore makes it quite hard if they also want to go back to dump that kind of cut. They're always going to be like defended out. Zaka's just a clever thing of realizing that there's no point in him going up the line because he's not going to gain anything, and he's probably just going to get in the way even more with all of the mess that's going up pitch. So he cuts back a bit, losing a bit of ground, but yeah, getting the disc and resetting the stall count. Keep the disc, win the game.
Keep the disc, win the game. Who doesn't love a reset? The stack is still a bit of a mess, but that's expected. There's been many cuts to try to sort this poach out, and there's been resets. The dream here would be for Akash to get the swing out. The problem is it's quite a far throw for how much separation there is. Like, that looks like a lot, but on pitch you're going to have to nail it to this space for that to work. So unfortunately he doesn't get that out, which means this person's obvious. Well. What?
The force jumps around.
The force does do a good job as well. The stack is cleaning up, giving this the open lane space, but me here, I'm stranded in no man's land. This is our front of the end zone, so I have an option to go all the way round him to be his dump in a normal position and let people cut. I can't really clear up this way as I'm getting in the open cutting lane and screwing things up. But I, in the moment, didn't think I had time to get round because it's such a dangerous position to be at the back of your end zone. But I ended up just trying to go towards the sideline to stay out of the way as my person was slightly poaching. And after a few dumps, you saw people, the clamp stopped working, so Dan Jones managed to get free, and I just didn't do a good enough huck. What's this one? This is Dan Brown. Why is it? Oh, that's the wrong thing. This one. So yeah, this is just a mess. I think we've worked it up nicely to here. As you can see, there's two dumps. I think Carver is clearing through, but this is just going to show the importance of sprinting through and talking to the current front of stack, whether they are still going to be the front of stack or you're replacing them. It's just as simple as saying, I'm front, you're still in, whatever you want, but as long as something is said. Because so Dan Brown gets a nice IO to me. Oh no, wait, that's a future clip, but never mind. But yeah, the cuts just aren't working, and so Dan Brown just keeps IOing it nicely to me, which is good. This is what I'm talking about. Sorry guys.
It's so funny seeing like the top of the stack, all of the people.
That was a great dump cut by Akash.
I'm not poached. There's the communication. There's one person just chilling.
This is the bad bit I was talking about talking to the front of stack. Dan Brown starts it, but two people go because, let's just go back. You might see, what's it? Charlie snuck round from a handler position. Carver was front of stack, so it just needed one of them to say I'm front, and that would have been an easy reset. Luckily, Dan Jones did an insane break shot.
Also, if it was a good use of the poach player. The poach player was that person free in the end zone.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Or it could have been a hammer over the top.
Could have been a hammer, but IOs look cooler in my opinion.
Risky though.
This was a set play. We did call it. You can see Loughborough have set up their clamp on the stack, so this means that if you go somewhere, so say this person wants to cut this way, this defender will pick them up. So they should all be covered. However, Graham's so fast and Carver's so good at hucking that Suits, their deep player, didn't stand a chance. So there's a zipper, the stack split. Carver does the smart thing. His force, this is the open side and this is the break side. He knows if he puts the huck to the break side, that gives Graham the advantage as the defense is automatically going to defend the open side, as it's easier for them to defend. And so
well, also the person, if you see there, the defender is completely on the opposite side, right? So it makes sense to put it on the side that Graham will be, which is why you put it over to the break side.
Yeah. So worst comes to worst, Graham can do some boxing and has the advantage in the air, but didn't need to, as Carver launched it and Suits had no chance. Look at him go. He's so speedy.
Yeah, and Suits was caught on his back foot. If you go back a bit, so I can go back.
Yeah, do you want to go back and pause and play?
You can see here that Suits is facing forwards with both his hips facing forwards, and Graham, I mean, it's his job to go back, but it's like a good, you know, for example, cut, because Suits has to turn all the way around, which means that he's got no chance. He has to turn around and then sprint, which makes it real hard.
Yeah, because you can see the angle Graham runs at him. Suits starts coming this way with the splitter, then going out that side. So he's turning the long way round as well, rather than his hips facing Graham and going. So, splitter is an OP tactic. You heard it here first.
Good end zone tactic as well. Yeah.
This one. This is just showing the importance of how to approach a force and putting a strong one on. How it can change the whole game. If you don't put a force on, you're letting the 6 other players playing defense down, basically. So,
Gosh.
I mean, it's true. You're taking out half.
Is this a good force though? This first one.
So
do you count this as a good force?
I don't know. Bit denied an option. What could have? The reason that force could have been better is if sideline was talking to them, so they didn't bite as much, because that was a good fake. If they didn't bite as much in that fake, they would have been able to pressurize that IO more. Anyway.
But should they have bitten in the first place? The IO is always the like up pitch one. I think that this person should have stayed here in this position and not bit at all, because the round shot is going to take longer to get there, and it's going to be easier for the defense to D it.
Yeah. The reason I wanted to talk about this was, so this is Henry here. This player's receiving the disc. He knows there's obviously no way he's going to get that disc. So the way he approaches the force is really good. Immediately going to the break side, up, knowing that that'll be their first look. Dump and swing is what you get taught. So this way he's cut that off, and then he starts walking in slowly, so he's still on his toes, ready to move. Unfortunately, he gets broken anyway. And then goodbye Dan Brown right at the end, doing the same thing, running across to the break side, pressurising the throw, so it was quite bad, and Brooks could get the D. This is a short clip because Charlie nearly did the perfect thing. So they're playing their side stack. The whole point is they like their one-on-ones because all they can do is be athletic. And so this player, I believe, is Phipps, who's quite tall, quite a good deep receiver. So it's Charlie's done the right thing, setting up on the deep side to stop him. And as he's come out, Charlie's tracked with him, is still within arm's reach, and would do perfect defense if not for he bit on Phipps's fake too much. So Phipps steps to go deep, which Charlie does as well. Whereas because Charlie had the positioning, he could have just kept his hips facing him, taken the impact. If there was a foul, it would have been Phipps's fault, not Charlie's. meaning Phipps wouldn't be free for the under that he does get. So it was very good positioning and just a slight footwork error there, which made him get free, but still very good defense to do so.
Yeah, and it's definitely better for, especially a receiver like Phipps, who is quite athletic and definitely quite tall. Definitely better for Charlie to have a good positioning to start off with, and then maybe a slight error with the person going under, but he stopped the deep cut, and like the undercut isn't super big, and he can then catch up again.
Yeah.
And it's right to the sideline as well, you know. Whoa, this is the stuff that I've done. This is Warwick versus Cambridge, women's first Bucks match. This clip is looking at handler reset, good stuff, also bad stuff, and then a nice throw that Jessie does long. So yeah, so we start off with the disc. We're just doing a vert stack. It's a bit hard to see because we're obviously across instead of above, but yeah. So we've got a first cut from Sasha. It's not on. Yeah, it's a good job not taking it. Jasmine's like, oh, I'm going to look at my dump. And then Jessie does a really... Oh gosh. I didn't realise that that went right to the beginning.
Nice.
Sorry. Jessie does a good job realising that Sasha, she's just done her cut, so she's probably not heads up as front of stack. I don't think the first person, this was quite early in the term, so was as heads up that they need to come back. So Jessie was like, oh, I see that no one else is going. She looks and then she goes. She doesn't cut anybody off because she looks and does really well. Free swing, which is great. And then we have a continuation, which comes a little bit late, but it's a good cut from Trish. And then we have some slightly less good handler reset. So we had good handler reset, and then Jasmine is a hard position here. I think she's a little bit too far away from Jessie. But her dump, person who's defending her as dump has quite good positioning, so it makes it quite hard for Jasmine to like go anywhere. So Jasmine tries to bounce, but she probably should have just gone up the line. But Jessie instead puts a lovely put to two people who have gone free and just kind of floats right into their hands, which is great.
Can I say on Jasmine's positioning and the defender, it was okay. The only way she was going to get the disc was if Jessie could get the around breakout to her, because she is quite poached. So if that is ever the case, a lot of the time people will stand there like, I'm still poached, give me the disc, what are you doing? It's still a breakthrough, it's still hard to get there. So if they fake you, just go up the line.
Yeah. It's always down to the person who's on disc than the person who's dumped. You just, if someone fakes at you, even if you think you're super free, just like get out of the way, because otherwise they get confused and then the front of stack gets confused and then it normally ends up in a turnover. But instead there was a great put. So yeah. Nice. And then we have some not as good look at, well, some non-looking at the handler slash not great end zone offense. So a little bit of a cluster going on here. And Jessie kind of cuts up pitch instead of cutting behind. So we see an example a bit further on in one of the other clips where if you're in the middle of the pitch like this, you should always come behind. So like behind, I don't know if you can do the mouse to show where behind is.
Yeah, so back here. Akash did a good example in an earlier drone clip, which as well.
Yeah, so you should always come behind. But we've got Trish in the end zone, so woo, it's a score. Yeah, this is nice work. So we've got Val who picks up the disc, just a vert stack. Phoebe immediately realizes that actually maybe she should be on the other side. It doesn't really matter what side you're on as long as you're positioning, but she kind of thinks, maybe I should be on the other side. So she repositions herself, which is, it's heads up. And and good. And then not to like blow my own trumpet or anything, but I do a good
Hannah
cut.
gets free.
You put your
Yeah, I
throwing
know,
before.
right.
So I saw in this position, my person is quite under of me, but I wanted to get the disc under. We were a bit deep, so I maybe didn't think it was going to come deep to me, but I like ran at my person, changed direction, and then went round them. So just changing direction a bit sometimes confuses them. But we've got some really good continuations going there. We had, oh gosh, it goes so quickly. So Phoebe moving across, we've got cut under, and then we've got great continuation cut from Jasmine, and then we've got another great continuation cut into the end zone by Sasha, and it's really good timing. As soon as Jasmine turns around, Sasha is there, woo, in the end zone, and it's a score. Really smooth, really clean.
It was also good clearing through by Val and Phoebe, because a lot of the time attempted as the handler to just stay as the dump, because you're the handler, you're normally the one there, but it's a lot easier for them to go through rather than the person who's just throwing the disc.
Yeah, definitely. In this clip we have a vert stack again, but we're looking at how I do something in this clip which I personally think is a very powerful thing to do. So we have an initial cut which probably could be thrown to, but it's not quite on. I do actually a real bad cut. I just run straight under, which is not a good cut.
Best power position.
But I've noticed that Phoebe has great positioning. I can't see upfield at all because I was facing the left of the screen and not into the end zone. I can't see who's cutting, but Phoebe can. She can see everything. So I just did a little pop off. I can clear out straight away or stay as a dump, depending on what happens. And it means that we can have a nice continuation.
Do you know who's great at that?
Zone.
Graham's great at that pop off, he doesn't like keeping the disc. It's really fun to play with.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think after I threw away quite a lot of stuff this game, I didn't want disc. This is one where, as I was talking earlier, instead you come behind. I kind of preempted this, so Jenny would look back. But yeah, catch swim matches. We did win this match, but I did drop.
Oh no!
I know, it was really sad.
Ooh.
Yeah, so this is Bears 1 versus Nottingham. This match was some highs and some lows. This point in particular has some really good offense and then some not so good offense in it. So we start off with Carver picking up the disc. Akash has alright positioning.
A lot of the time when
45 behind.
Yeah, it's fine. A lot of the time in a slow setup like this, especially someone like Carver, he'll say a side he wants if it's in the middle of the pitch. It's just a personal preference. You're always behind. It's just whether you start on the break side or the open side.
Yeah,
it's a good thing to
if you're
talk
break
about.
side, you should normally start horizontal with them instead of 45.
Yeah.
It makes less difference. But we've got a stack which is kind of creeping maybe a bit deep. There's actually a nice bounce cut that Owen does. Plus fun a stack.
Oh no, what happened here?
I know, this is the sad thing. So we had Owen do a cut and then maybe not commit enough to the bounce he did across the front of stack, which he could have been quite free on. But we see that we've got a poach back here, and Carver does the right thing of being like, I'm just going to give it to Akash because he's completely poached. His man's getting in the way, kind of reset stuff. So once we kind of move back, our stack should also move back, but we don't do that. And then we have a very sad situation when we've got two people who cut at the same time. So, yeah. I think you can see just on the right of the screen there, I think they're kind of both at the back of stack, like standing next to each other. It's why it's really important that your stack is in the right position. If your stack is too deep so that everybody's really clumped up, you have this issue where people don't know. This is why communication obviously is really handy as well. But Let's go reset, and then fortunately Sid carries on attacking the disc, which is nice. And then this is really nice offense. Ben does a great continuation cut. This goes a bit dark, so
Yeah.
sorry if you can't see.
If you're ever filming, don't point it towards the light.
Yeah, or just click on the ground instead of the focus that. But if you can see this bit, Akash does some maybe not as good, depending on your preference for dump cuts. But so Ben does a nice cut. There's good communication to Akash goes to dump, but he gets faked like 4 times. Then kind of goes up line, but doesn't really. Fortunately, Ben does a nice put in space.
Yeah, let's go, Kirby.
And then
That was sad. The thing is, Kirby is a really good defender.
Pet hate. If I see anybody do a high release backhand like this,
yeah, let's go, Kirby.
which is also definitely travel as well. It makes me sad.
Can I just put it back for a second as well?
Yeah.
So, what was nice about this was Akash obviously wanted to stay as the dump, and so he said that to Sid, and Sid has done the good job of clearing all the way round Akash and out.
Yeah.
Which is good to see.
It's good.
Yeah, let's go, Kirby.
And then sad because at that point also Carver was quite
Kirby.
a nice continuation on the other side, but sometimes you can see things which don't quite look really the point. We just had a foul made, a classic foul made on Neil. So this is the disc coming back in, and what I don't know if everybody can see here is that we have a long way between our handlers and the stack. So Owen, probably the front of stack, should be like running forward straight away to move them closer, because this makes it really hard being so deep. But we're going to see a good deep cut and a not so good deep cut from Neil. I think he already cut once, and sorry Neil, but I think he's a bit scared of touching 72 because the foul was not a foul, and so he's a bit like, well, I don't know where to go. But we have a good cut instead. Neil does a good job of being like, actually no, I'm not free, I'm going to clear out. But Sid does a great cut, if you can see there.
Sid is here, so he's next to cut. He knows Neil's do badly.
And then goes deep and gets, you can see, gets a great sky.
Good take as well. Yeah.
Good. Then we have some great looking offense. I wanted to put this in because it looks really good, and it's really good continuation from like the whole team as well, and like communication. So we have Carver picking up the disc. We'll have initial undercut.
Oh,
yeah, let's go, Kirby.
Too many jinx.
Yeah, keep working, Kirby. Nice
That's
work.
not many jinx for Neil, to be fair.
Really nice continuation, a nice
Ben so tall.
Yeah, let's go,
Oh.
A great put.
That's a lovely put.
Sid
To his bay.
and goes to go get it.
Oh my days.
Also, voice of Matt Pike in the background. So
Yeah, let's go, Kirby.
supporting the wrong
Yeah,
side.
keep working, Kirby.
Yeah, so that first cut maybe could have been, maybe could have been thrown to you, but Neil did a good job of realising that Carver wasn't
Yeah,
going
let's
to
go,
throw it.
Kirby.
Carver kind of
Yeah, keep working, Kirby. Nice work.
Owen went and got it, but Neil was like, I'm still so free, so came under, which is good.
I don't want to roast Neil, but one thing I could say about Carver not throwing it, is a lot of the time, if Neil's jinking like this a lot, as the throw, you don't know which jink he's actually going to commit to. Yes, it might throw your defender off, but it's also going to throw your thrower off. So,
yeah, let's
even
go.
sometimes if you get free, it's hard to
Oh my days.
throw to.
Yeah, let's go,
Yeah, and he probably
Kirby.
was going to be
Yeah,
filmed
keep
the first
working,
jinx.
Kirby. Nice work.
Never know. But yeah, good cut there from Neil, and then a nice take from Ben.
Yeah, let's go,
and
Hugh.
a
Up!
nice put. Good score. Woo. Great. So now a This bit I think is one of
So
the
I'm
most
playing with the
important things
seconds,
about
like
defense.
off tier or something.
So we've got everybody running down for ball, going to get them in, and got the defense on the other side of the pitch. I wasn't really as fussed with. If you look at Graham at this point and I can't remember his name.
Sean.
It's not good with me. And Sean. I'm sorry. They are both
It's okay,
guys,
you're a
and
coach for
actually
next year,
Kenji,
not
who
this year.
runs up the pitch. Kenji's far right.
Yeah.
Also runs up the pitch, and you can see all three of them are face marking their defender. So they're just looking at the defender. They're not looking at the disc at all. I'll play this a couple of times. If you see instead, if you watch Carver when he's doing it, make an example of Carver doing good defense. He is a bit farther from his player, but he keeps on checking the disc. So what I mean by checking the disc is he'll be looking at the defender, and then he looks at the disc to make sure he knows where the disc is and knows where the bits that he needs to protect the most, which is really, really important when you're playing frisbee, because it makes your job loads easier. There's no point defending something if there's no point, if you don't need to be there.
Let's go, let's go!
So we've got Graham is just staring at his guy's feet. Kenji's
No,
doing the
no,
same
his
thing.
eye line's going straight here.
But if we watch here, Carver's looking upfield, he checks back to the disc, he checks back to his defender, he then checks the disc again, he keeps looking, and it's not great defense on it's not like the offense that Nottingham do is not great, but just important that checking disc.
Let's go,
so
let's go!
if this case,
keep running it!
We had some more checking of disc by people. Maybe Dan Jones on the other side. Kind of
Let's go, let's go! Keep running it!
checks the disc a little bit too much
Yeah.
instead looking. So, there's two opposites there.
There's also a case of who you're marking. So Dan Jones was on Joel there, their best player. So if you look away, if you look at the disc for too long, a good offensive player like Joel will see that and go the other way, go out of your sight, and make you look a fool. So that's the rule of three at the player, one at the disc. So you just glance at the disc to know where it is, to know what's happening. But mainly pay attention to your player.
And Joel nearly gets it, but Sean does enough.
GB, what?
Now we have some beautiful zone offense done by Bears 2 against Coventry's maybe not so great zone, but is really good. So we start off. I wanted to put this layout in.
Yeah,
Great.
that's gorgeous.
Nice layout.
He's insane.
And then Nathan does a great job here of getting the disc moving. And lots of movement upfield. If you see, kind of everybody is moving to the right place. A nice IO shot that maybe didn't need to be that.
Can I just say, oh, I've gone a bit far back. We'll just watch again. Harry's cut into the middle was really nice, coming from out wide. So it was a good pop by Nathan. As you can see, their space is in the middle. Their front line isn't sprinting to get past, and their wings are just still really far out. So after the pop comes and it slows down, Harry has started just off screen here, quite deep, but sees this massive space and comes in at an angle towards the disc as well to make it easier to catch, easier to throw, not just straight horizontal. And yeah, good use of Scott pulling that player out as well.
Yeah, it's really nice. We have another zone offense point, which is done really well. This bit, just to highlight because of this good kind of give and go situation. So Robin kind of hoisters, which is good, but then a little Nathan does a little give and go. He could have got it back again, but Joe decides to swing it instead, which could be a good option, changing kind of where you are. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of an overthrow slash. Tom doesn't quite see
this player. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tried leading. Was it Jack out too much? I couldn't tell from distance.
I don't know. Maybe. This final bit is about communication on defense. So we'll watch it and then we can go back to it. So we've got a long cut, which is pretty badly read. And then another person gets a disc, and then another person free gets a disc. What could have happened could have been some really great switching and communication that could have gone here. So as these people run down, Ollie probably should have kept on going with his player to start off with. But in this situation, we've got Scott absolutely busting it, trying to catch up with him. Ollie is already on his player. What he should have done is been like, well, Scott should have been like, drop, and go get my player. Switch for me. I'll cover number 11 for you and be on disc. There's no point like starting to stall someone when there's a person completely free in the end zone, because whatever you do, whether you're the best force around, like, it's impossible to stop every throw, and if there's a free person, then there's no like defender on the other person. So Scott should have swapped, and then we have another situation where actually Ollie just kind of abandons his player, which is quite bad. Kenji or Scott, instead of Force, I can't remember who Force is, but Kenji or Scott should have seen the next threat. There's two of them on that one person who's on disc, and instead gone to the free person who's then scores.
So if I take back a second, you see Kenji has the right thought. He runs up here into that space because he's on that side of the player. Unfortunately, Scott didn't do the same to the other side, so I didn't look for the next threat. And so...
Yeah. But it's all about like practicing switching with people. Takes a while to like get, but it's always, if your person runs deep and gets the disc, if someone else has also busted it up and their defender is lagging a bit, go get them and tell the
take
defender,
the runner.
Yeah, take the runner always. Otherwise it just makes it pretty much a goal every time, a score.
Before we go into the full game, does anyone, Hannah, do you have the chat up? Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Does anyone want to go back to any
nice.
of the clips? We'll wait for 30 seconds for it to catch up. You can actually do something while we wait.
Yeah, we've got a zone offense, a nice cut, some defense. Let's just put it back.
Oh.
Some more cutting, upline cuts, some dump positioning, and continuation and deep throw, continuation and dump positioning with people running through, to pop off to give a person pound position, some good offense and bad offense.
Let's go,
from
Kirby.
Bears one.
And some good offense and some bad offense from Bears 2.
Some cuts. And then checking the disc.
Let's go.
If you're going to take anything away from this session, remember to check the disc. We'll do, when we are back at uni, if we ever go back, that is, we'll do some drills which practicing checking the disc. So you can do a drill where you have one person on the disc and the force keeps changing, and as the downfield kind of cutters, but you're just standing there with your person. You have to just keep on switching sides.
Keep running it, keep running it.
Obviously not a game situation. Normally the force doesn't change all the time. Well, depending if you're doing like force middle, it might change all the time. But yeah.
Yeah. So has anyone said anything? Let's just go back to where's the zipper? Oh, his Akash's good cut as well. So he went behind and then up.
What are you doing?
We can just. I could just watch this clip over and over again.
Girl. Wait, who is it? Someone puts their arms out.
What? Oh, what, in celebration?
In the middle. I think that's. Is that you?
Yep, that's me.
Nice. We're now gonna watch. I can't. This isn't gonna work then. Because how can I watch it?
Oh yeah. Oh well.
I have to download this. Actually, I can just start playing at the same time. You just can't stop it.
Yeah. I wasn't planning on stopping it.
We're now gonna watch and maybe go through a little bit. Oh no, wrong site. Bears 2 versus Loughborough 2. I don't know why. Dan wanted to watch it, so.
It's an alright game. There's some highlights and lowlights, and actually I won't spoil the score, but it's a tense one. I'm gonna start mine now, Hannah.
Wait a minute, I haven't found it yet.
Ah, Hannah will get it up. This is the old school way of watching a video with someone. Just 3.
Where is it?
The Bears page. It's the thumbnail is the beautiful Tom Winnell.
Oh, I missed that one. It is indeed someone else. You ready?
Yeah, 3, 2, 1, go.
Time is ready. Go on, Ben.
Do you have any pre-points for this game? Who's on the team?
We could go through.
Do we have some background on them?
I only know one of the Loughborough players, and hopefully know all of the Bears players. Otherwise, that's quite embarrassing. It's a big game, always a big game. The Loughborough 2 Bears do.
Classic offence. Loughborough playing.
Side stack. If you just saw, Scott just did some really good defense by staying the same side of his player and taking him impact when they wanted to go deep. It helps because Scott is such a big boy.
You can go back.
Okay. Here it is. Yeah.
You'll just have to tell me a time.
Yeah. So Scott, I'm at 30 seconds. Scott is set up on the back of stack. It's Loughborough. They're probably just going to try and jam it deep. He knows that. So he's set up on this side. Tracks with Nick under. And as soon as Nick turns straight into Scott. He's got his hips facing him. Takes the hit. So Nick, if Nick was faster than Scott, can't get up to speed and can't get free deep. I'm just playing
Scott
it again,
also
Hannah.
does 37 seconds. He does. You can see him check the disc. He's starting to run deep, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna check to see if it's coming or not." Checks the disc, knows that he can like chill a bit, because it's not gonna come deep.
Oh, that didn't work. I promise I'll stop playing around after this.
What are you doing?
I was in slow-mo so you can see him check the disc. Look, he's going. And there's the look. Okay, I'm going to play again.
Go from 1 minute and 5.
1 minute and 5.
It's when we bring the disc back in.
It doesn't matter if we're that out of sync. Joe gets free. Bears 2 seem to love the horror. Don't know why. I didn't teach her that much, but at parts it was quite good. Harry there really should have looked at his dump earlier, because he's caught it on the sideline, looked deep, there was no one free. As soon as on the sideline, if that immediate option isn't on, just dump it. It's the most dangerous place to have the disc on offence. The whole point of a horror is you want to be in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah, it's also a hard place to throw as well, because the person is cutting right in front of you. So your throw has to be like pinpoint accurate to like meet them as they like run pretty much straight away from you, which is quite hard. Instead of having someone like run 10 meters to your left, say, so you can kind of just push it out in front of them. Rafa just like randomly run around. Does he actually have anybody who coaches them? Like, what the hell?
Who was coaching this year? Was it?
Talk trash on Loughborough.
Oh, it was Benson and CV, if you know who they are. And so, yeah, they don't have anyone who coaches them.
1-0 Bears.
Well, the voice of Harry Law.
It's a score. I don't know how behind you are, but
Yeah, I've just got the score.
It's going to be another side stack, isn't it? Just waiting
Yeah,
for it.
they just love to isolate. And a straight deep put. And a good read by Paddy and a good D.
Some directing by Nathan. Nice.
He's taking charge. And Nathan, that was a terrible deep shot. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
Drew was like there trying to get his feet in. It's just like, it's gone. At that point, you just leave it.
Paddy doing a good job calling for help there. Shame no one helped, but didn't matter because it was a bad throw anyway. No, Nathan, it wasn't a great throw. You miss all the shots you don't take, yeah, but some of the bad ones you take are turnovers.
That was some good reset from Nathan, who saw that.
It's a high still, just it's like, I'll just get through.
Yeah. Slightly interesting shot that was then taken though.
Definition of
Love the
conservation of greatness.
Yeah. We've got Tom out in the lane. It was good to have a poach on the stack.
He's
Big
off the
buffer.
front of stack, so Loughborough here should just run the reset straight away. You can see
But
Tom.
scared. It was good defense.
They were scared. You can see Tom started getting closer to his player as the stall got higher, knowing that they were gonna start doing the reset. So that's good by Tom.
What is the issue here though?
Oh,
We have a stack which
Where?
is a little bit too close and a little bit too close to the sideline,
yeah.
which makes it real hard for anybody who wants to cut.
Unfortunate miss throw by Paddy. Slightly behind.
Yeah, it was good look though. It's always a hard shot up line into end zone. Probably one of the areas with the most turnovers.
That was buttery from Nathan.
It was buttery.
Stop hyping each other up. Goodbye Nathan here, taking the runner. It's as if he
Yeah.
heard this stream
Also
in
Andy.
advance. Somehow.
Yeah, all of them in that case took the runner actually, which maybe one of them could have took the forward instead. But
Doesn't matter, it's safer. That's quite a nice deep shot, but also a bad read by Andy. More unfortunate.
You get to see some
What?
offense.
Okay. What? I thought it came out like over
We've
here.
got a horizontal or
Horror.
across.
Let's go all the way,
So
all the way.
it should, I assume, oh, it's coming to the middle. So Paddy and Joe should be cutting. I don't know how far ahead or behind I am, but
Yeah, we're at level. Scott is being poached off.
Let's go, boys!
So if he wants to get involved, he'll have to shout at the mids that he is going to. But otherwise, he just stood out of the way. The mark came closer, so it's fine.
yeah,
He
it's
does
a
a-
good cut from Joe,
Yeah,
realising
Gr-
where his play was and where he could go. Good cut from Scott as well.
yeah, filling in from Scott. That was really good to see because it was his side to fill in, and so he went to the opposite way the current cutter was going. Good.
Yeah!
You know why bears do like playing horror? Because they're good at it. They do really well.
Yeah, it was very
There's all
clean.
of the horror I've seen. That's great.
And Loughborough with the side stack.
That was some, what's it called? When something good happens, but you didn't do good stuff. So actually, it shouldn't have happened. From
What?
Andy's defense.
Oh,
Andy's defense wasn't that great, and
but
he
it was
was
just
in
a
the,
miss. It was just a misthrow. Scott saw no one was coming back, so he went across for that dump. Normally it's Stack coming back, but Drew did come back anyway to fill in the
Yeah,
hander.
look, power position. Look at that, great. I don't know if you saw
It's
that on stream as well, but
yeah, it was a good power position. It was a bit of a slow transition to vert. Horror is very bad in the end zone.
yeah, I think Drew was still playing.
That was definitely
or
in.
maybe kind of
Mate.
stuck around a bit.
They're definitely teaching
It was
Loughborough
definitely
the bad spirit.
Classic.
The worst.
Boo, Loughborough.
Yeah.
Suck. Oh. just cause
They're just
that's so sad. It just goes to Nathan throwing it at the floor.
well, then they eat it.
He can score. We are back
Two ball.
with the twos on Horror.
Will it stay a
It's
close
a
game?
zone. Ooh.
That was. Ooh, I think that was down.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought that bounced. You know,
If
benefit.
Redford, if you're in the comments, you can enlighten us. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was your hand making that sound.
Some good continuation and movement from Paddy there.
Lovely
Moving
sideline
along
work.
this.
They got it in front of the front of the zone and just abused that line. So they were constantly free.
Oh, he's taking it for the sideline. That's okay.
So
You guys really need to pull in pitch though.
side stack is pretty good on the sideline if it's the correct side.
True, but everybody got very close very quickly, so maybe it wasn't a side stack. I don't know, they weren't doing the angle, wasn't it, the cutters? Yeah, I know if you're filming stuff, make sure that you're just looking at the cutters more than the handlers.
Threes.
Because it's helpful to see what the cutters are doing as well as the handlers.
It's quite a nice sunset.
Oh no!
Oh dear.
That's the
You hate
backhand
to
on the
see
forehand
it.
side. And then he left his play in the end zone.
4-3.
Fatal error. Sad. Anyway, we are back. A little bit of miscommunication maybe? What are we doing?
It's a horror. It was just a cart which wasn't free. They've reset to three handers. It's good. Cycling through to the correct side. Nathan's come behind to try to get a dump. Dummies gets it. That's good.
Oh,
But throws away to
Jimmy
Paddy.
was about to go. Paddy should have laid out for it. Catches win matches.
Yeah.
Also good throws, also win matches.
Redford does say he definitely caught it. Sure. I'll take your word for it. It was quite a bad camera angle. I was just judging by the sound.
I can't hear anything, so I've got one on mute. Ah, nice,
Yes.
nice cover there. Hit it to the floor.
Because to think, a Loughborough player could have just done that and caught it. So you always got to do it, even if you think it's guaranteed turnover.
Oh. Close.
Is this why you weren't that keen on us sharing this video, Nathan? It's good force. It's on his toes.
Really active on the force, which is
It's
good.
good to see.
Although
It's a bit flat.
Can't really. Yeah. But at half pitch, if you're trying to stop the huck, which Loughborough throw the huck quite a lot, so you could do a more flat force.
Yeah.
More effective stopping those hucks. Yeah.
So Nathan, if this
Now we are-
isn't your best game, what is your best game?
So horror again.
Yes, looks like it.
The cutters probably need to be a bit closer. They should probably be
Blue line?
on the blue line, if
Yeah.
not closer than that.
Yeah. It's the whole.
Otherwise, deep shots are real hard.
Yeah, the whole point of horror is you've got an under and a deep at the same time. Saying that,
Oh,
it's curving over the back of the head. It's a hard one to read.
yeah, really hard to read.
If Paddy had known which shoulder it was coming over earlier, he could have maybe turned around.
Yeah. Or maybe like sometimes if you can't see it or if it's over one shoulder, just like run more one way than the other and then like readjust. So like run all the way left and then be like, oh, now it's on my right. If it's over your head, it's like the hardest to read.
Yeah.
Again, probably stack needs to be a bit closer. We've got a little bit of a poach going on in the lane.
It's in the lane. That's my favourite poach to do against a horror.
Nathan yeets it. If you are going to do that poach, like commit fully, have that person go and stand like in front of the thrower.
And know when to leave it. You have to be doing the poach and every so often glancing at your player to see, because they could just go deep. It would be dumb, but because they'd be running past other defenders, but they could. But more likely they will do a reset, and so you want to get tight as soon as they start that reset to put the force on it.
Another. Paddy in that situation could be way more aggressive. Kind of half poaching the lane does help a little bit, but it means that the defense might be a little bit more lax because they're like, oh, there's someone kind of there, they might help me. But if he goes and stands like in front of the thrower, makes it a lot harder, and it means that some Loughborough have to do some sort of drastic action to make sure it changes.
Yeah.
So unfortunate turnover, just a little bit too high on the throw, but some good movement between the You get to see Nathan on the force again. See the active force.
Still quite flat.
Yeah, it's on the sideline though.
Yeah, if they're forcing flick, it's okay, but you just got to be careful not to get too hungry on the dump. Yeah, how did that happen? That's confusing. Good force by Redford. He was just looking behind. Yeah. This is a long point.
This is a real long point.
They're tired.
It's more, it's more tiredness errors than like actual
bad play. Yeah, it's just like throwing errors and stuff. Like, Nathan's tired if he doesn't want to pick up the disc and huck it. Nice cut. Good clearing through by Redford on the far side.
Ooh,
So Joe should not go up that side, yeah. But he started going and he's free, so he's just still going.
It's got good communication from
Yeah.
there.
He nearly went up the wrong side, but then realised and came around and got free.
Oh, sad. Just a little bit of a throw error. That's okay though.
Good pick up by Scott there. I don't know who it was, but they did shout for help, which is also good communication. Oh,
Go
that's
Scott.
that's
Don't
sad.
pick
You've got to make a decision early and commit to it, because if you half-heartedly do something, it's never going to work.
That's
Normally,
good communication though. People have been picked up. Unfortunate, not a turn there. That was super close.
That's 5-3.
But that was good defense.
did
There was
Harry
more
just
of
say that
that
was
squad
5-3?
switching.
Are you getting this high pitch noise, Hannah?
What?
In the game, are you getting this high pitch noise? Oh,
I'm not listening to the game because otherwise
okay.
it will repeat it. You can just turn the sound off on the game.
Yeah, I'm just gonna mute it for now. I don't. You're gonna have to deal with our commentary. That's got entertainment for sound.
So much fun. Good end zone. Well,
They've
this
set
is
up
a
an
buffer,
ISO.
but that was a good end zone ISO.
Yeah.
Play.
That was.
And what could have been done to help that is we could have had someone clamp the front of end zone. So if Vito was talked a little bit more.
Yeah. Oh, Harry busting it deep.
Just a little bit too far. Yeah. A hard throw to read as well, having a flick come roll curve into that.
Yeah, you have to either get a massive
backhand
IO out
curving, but...
with the flick or big break with the backhand. So it's a hard one. The alternative is you just sit it to open side if he's that. Like sit it far in front of him in open side.
Nice D.
Yeah.
D.
Very good. A lot of players will just stand and let it come to them, and then the offense just comes through, and it's really sad. So, goodbye Redford to see the other player attacking it and go, well, I'll attack it more.
Good cut. Oh, sad. Quite a nice cut from Jack there. He should have probably come under a little bit earlier.
It was quite nice bounce by Tom, but unfortunately, it was quite a hard throw to do, so it wouldn't come.
Yeah. A little bit of an indecision on who was coming back as Dumpton.
Yeah.
Turn off your phone, Dan. Gee.
Oh my gosh, sorry. Stupid Incredibears chat. Oh my god.
So we've decided not to poach on this one. Their stack is an absolute.
Yeah.
It's just so much. Oh,
just
Harry,
called a pick straight away.
Sad. Positioning a little bit more your hips with them and a little bit closer can sometimes help with that. Just so they don't like turn you completely. If you go a bit more sideways instead of straight up towards them, if people understand what I mean. It's hard to explain it in words. Yet again, probably our stack is too far if I can't see it on the screen. Whoa, but
yeah, what a catch. Very nice up line by Redford. Oh, sad.
Nice bid.
It's okay. Scott's now learnt how to add touch rather than just rolling it, so he can lead out Redford like that.
Ooh.
So Scott is on there like rapid player.
Scott does a good job on the first fake that he does, and then the player just kind of goes behind his back, and then you can't quite see. Are you also playing a side stack? Is this going to be vert?
I think it's just a quite fast stack.
A little bit too late looking at the dump, probably.
That was scary.
That slightly behind mine.
Oh, the hammer. Oh.
That's like a Catherine throw there. Throwback to if anybody remembers when Catherine used to play. and she used to just throw hammers when hammers
Yeah.
did not need to be thrown.
Backhand up the line? Nah, hammers are more fun. In all fairness, they are cooler. Ooh.
Oh, sad.
Bit too much
Maybe
air
not.
bounce. Made
Bit
it.
too much air bounce to probably not as free a player as maybe should have been thrown to. Some
It
good
was
defense from Scott
trying.
there.
Redford was trying to throw it to the right side because if he had successfully thrown it to the break side further, Ollie can catch on that side, but the defense can't. But
Yeah.
very hard. Not a shot I would take on a low stall.
Yeah, his first cut, I probably would have just let them run off.
Yeah. If it's still 9, definitely go for it.
Interesting that we've decided to give up with Horo.
Yeah.
Upline, upline, upline! Ah, he decided not to. He was free, but nearly
Oh.
a whole load of indecision that Joe had.
Good job attacking it though, Joe. That was close.
Yeah.
I'll add the sound back as soon as the ringing goes away.
The reason why the offense has kind of gone a little bit haywire here is because the indecision that I was talking about, people just not quite committing enough to their cuts.
Yeah.
Even if you cut to the wrong place, if you cut 100% and like power it through, you're probably going to get free, and you're probably going to be able to be thrown to.
That guy's squat. Where's he learned that? Oh, goes up the line early. Nice leading. Nice amount of touch. Power position to deep shot.
Oh,
No!
I should just like wait 2 seconds to react because yours is slightly behind mine.
Or I'm just slower at reacting to things.
True.
Why is the Loughborough player just facing straight upfield?
Who knows?
What are they teaching over there? Goodbye, Tom, to get under it.
Yeah!
Yeah, Tom!
Tom.
He's so tall.
Good positioning.
Yeah, great
Stopping
read.
the person from running any deeper so that he could hit it out of the way.
I still would say catch it, because there was a Loughborough play. Could have accidentally magged it too.
Yeah,
But-
most definitely. Always catch it because someone could have laid out for it and got it at the back. Our stack is way too deep. What?
Yeah. Especially on a team where you have people that are going to huck it, like Nathan. Don't set up the
Yeah.
stack deep. If you can only work unders and only work front of stack, it sometimes is preferable, but that's always going to be called by captains and stuff. So, like by default,
That was a nice
bring it closer.
continuation there. They're probably just
Forehand
gonna-
pull. Ooh. Is that
That's
Will
Nathan,
Newing?
huh?
No, it was Nathan. I'm
Did they
pretty
drop
sure.
the ball?
Yeah. Wow.
Oh.
I think you've watched this game
Um,
fully, haven't you?
Huh?
You've watched this game fully before when it came out, right? I think I did, but I
nice.
can't remember much.
Nice cut, nice ISO.
Very
right there
good
from Paddy.
ISO.
He could have maybe just done a one cut fake, to be honest, instead of cutting all the way, but it worked either way.
Yeah. Who would drop the pool? What an absolute mug.
Catch it! Catch it! Ooh.
Oh.
Good directing from Nathan. Over there. So our dump is a little bit too far away, and our stack definitely. Our stack definitely is too far away, as it's not in frame at all, which just makes it real hard.
It's
for-
quite funny watching the footage and just that cutter. Oh, a wild Scot appeared. It's just
Oh, spin move from Andy Fraz for being a throwaway. Oh dear.
with the cut Nathan did, it was the right option. It's just it's a real hard one to throw. So sometimes it's worth just looking at the stack for hopefully someone who's aware to just panic bail you out.
Yeah, you can also make it a lot easier by just if Andy turns, not for that throw, but for Nathan cutting behind, Andy should turn and just face Nathan.
Yeah.
So like stick your butt out up pitch, and
Oh,
just
the
means
read
that
by
it's a lot
Kenji.
easier.
Great bait by Paddy.
Runs past everyone. Yeah. See, Kenji just turns around and makes it loads easier because you don't need to look up pitch if you're only looking for your dump.
Yeah.
Woo! Nice
Communication,
work,
people. Don't want an injury. Seriously, what's with the fore? That is a very good forehand pull, to be fair. But why forehand?
Is it who is calling?
Nathan.
Nathan.
Yeah.
Nathan calls forehand quite well.
No. Did not know that.
Nice force from Tom there. Getting active in their face. Puts them off.
It goes further. Well, then you're throwing your backhands wrong. Just have strong wrists. How'd you get those? That's a joke on me breaking two rather than what everyone else is thinking.
Yeah, Tom.
Lovely shot. Oh, the fake was even better.
Oh, sad.
Sad.
A little bit too far.
A lot of the time with break throws, people are rushed to get them out because they think it's harder and they need to get it quickly to them. But Kenji had just taken the extra half a second. He's definitely got the capability to sit that so Harry can run it down rather than zooming it past.
Yeah, most definitely. It takes so long to bring the disc in. Jeez.
I mean, I can find a clip of Carver taking a literal minute to cooling a brick and then walking it to the brick mark.
I mean, you can only do it as fast as you kind of can do.
Yeah,
So.
he took a minute. He was so slow. He was like, yeah, it's mind games. His old stop bullying him. It was the zipper. He took a minute to walk it to brick and then we did the zipper. So the actual disc in play point took less time than him bricking it.
Nice feet. Oh, we've got a ISO or something. Need some communication. Oh, what a break.
What a break.
7-5.
Under the arm.
7-5.
Sneaks it in.
So 7-5, it seems like that's decent lead. Just trade it out till they win. Right?
Oh, I can't remember. I have to be honest.
Do you not know the
I
result?
was on the sideline. I was on the sideline counting it. I was doing the cones. We were doing a binary system. It wasn't really working.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah.
why I don't know the result. Nice force from Scott there. Also, like backing up when the guy was just gonna hit into him. Don't want to force foul. Defense.
In Friday League, that would be classed as an easy one for the stats for Paddy.
I mean, he was in the right place at the right time.
True. But he was standing there and the thrower just threw it at him.
Ugh. Not a great cut from...
If you're going to go upfield like that, you need to come across the open side. So if you are free, it's an easy throw. The going deep from there is really hard unless you do it on like stall 2, so they can have other resets.
Oh, sad Jack. Not quite.
What's that, Sonny?
Swing into the middle. That should have been swung probably to Ollie straight away, so you could get some ground. Having a centre person. If you're on offence, you can call a person to catch the ball and then a person to be like your centre.
Yeah.
It means that you can kind of move up the pitch like 5 meters pretty much straight away, which you know is always helpful. The rocket to the end zone. What a great throw.
Jamie, first rule of
Where's that
Frisbee,
everyone
if they
offense?
didn't call it, it didn't happen. But also, if they did call it, it sometimes didn't happen. We just watched the Nottingham game with, what's his name, Nick Bell? No, it's the other Tom, I don't know, something Bell. He calls a lot, doesn't happen.
A little bit of a shit show in the end zone there. Lots of people moving. As the handler as well, it can be good to like call something. So be like, I don't know, normal or like standard. If you want people to just cut from the back, or call cut from the back, or call like ISO, like front of stack ISO, or call like a particular person's name for the ISO. Some good defense going on though.
Yeah,
Loughborough
surprised that
absolutely
wasn't a
ruined.
stall out. Felt like quite a while.
Oh, that's not a sideline.
Is that the sideline?
Harry was like, it's over there, mate.
Neil knows his name, Tom Bell. There it is.
And then he just goes to the floor.
I mean, at least he caught it. If he had dropped it,
Right idea.
that was hilarious.
But then he does so at the floor. Which,
I think we need to clip that and send it to Loughborough. Don't know if they have it.
Ooh, a bit of a miss, bro.
Replay slow mo. Ah. You can watch in your own time.
Yeah, also it's super awkward if I have to go back. Yeah, Kenji.
Whoa, he's so
Nice.
speedy.
Come inside and get the. It's the classic. You watch lots of people who lay out D. They run on one side and then they switch and lay out straight away and get it. But Kenji just runs and gets it anyway.
Famously
Oh,
OP.
sad. Another missed throw turnover.
They're calling F1. Is that a terrible nickname of theirs or a set play? You'll never know.
Phone's dying.
Ooh. Who's that comes over the top and like whacks it away? Is it Nathan? I can't see.
Here in the background, the people who were just in my car arrived. We came from the Birmingham game, I think.
Oh, sad. Another missed throw.
No, I've been filming on my phone, but my phone's
This
on
game
like,
is full of lots of good,
it
very
was like
good bits.
midpoint.
There was some great horror, good vert stack, but quite a lot of just throwing errors.
Yeah.
This is why doing lots of throwing practice, or like practicing, always throwing accurately, and if it doesn't go well, repeat it until it does go well. Because practicing throwing badly or throwing to someone who's not free, or throwing something that you wouldn't throw in a game, means that you just kind of get into your head that you can throw it. It's why, personally, I'm not a big fan of Friday indoors for that reason.
What are your thoughts on the Scalabear's throwing sessions when they're in a circle then?
I mean, lots of throwing is good throwing. Oh, what a read! You don't go all the way around. Yeah, I think the throwing in a circle is fine. Oh,
Oh,
dear.
what happened there?
Scott just wiped him out.
It's a big
Joke.
boy. Happens.
As long as you're throwing accurately to someone in a circle, that's fine. It's not the most efficient way to like learn throwing. If you want to do throwing and like learn it really well, you want to be like have your receiver moving, because you're never going to be throwing really to a static target when you're playing frisbee.
Sid,
This is sometimes what people forget.
is that the Bears 1, Brum 1 game that you want to watch? Is it because you do something slightly good in it? Ooh.
Yeah, Vito. Vito had some great catches in that point. Let's go, Bears!
Look at that roll. It's great.
Was it meant to be? It was. I think that was meant to be a set play going there.
Oh,
Everybody
really?
was meant to run over to the right side of the pitch, and someone was meant to go under. Or there was a switch that was called on the stack.
Yeah, don't worry,
But I
Graham.
don't
I
think either of those
don't
people.
think we're going to watch the Bears 2 from 2 game.
No, next week is indoors.
It is indeed.
Ooh. Indoors has some arse. That would be so sad. That's why you always check the disc and stay eyes up. Otherwise, the person can get it and don't even know.
Oh, cool enough side next time. Mind games.
Paddy with the read.
Scott was just too speedy that he was already too deep.
Oh.
Oh!
A little bit more time. Paddy absolutely working for it.
He famously loves defense. He's Alex Guest reincarnated.
Yeah. Apart from he doesn't wear tracking bottoms, he wears long socks.
Oh, he's not Grigsby.
Nice D by Scott.
Yeah.
Figuring out
Good
where
seeing the play and just like, lol, I've got this.
Yeah. If you identify your person as literally not doing anything. Oh, Paddy, if you went the first time, you would have had him.
That's a lovely leading disc and a lovely travel.
And then
I mean, if you look at the flight of it, it had a nice touch and spin. Just the team wasn't up to his level. They didn't know it was coming. Otherwise, it would have worked.
Yeah, true.
I've got Nathan's back.
Yeah. And that's where you're like, why was no one running
Bastard
there?
Sandberg. I don't know. I don't
think
think so.
So we have another side stack. We have Thomas Wannell poaching off the front of stack, doing some good
He
reactive,
loves it.
not quite reactive.
Problem
play,
there
but
was
guys.
Paddy saw the poach and assumed Tom would take it. Tom didn't communicate anything. So with the poach, you still stay on your player unless the poach says they've got.
Yeah, and that's
So-
why when I talk about like really committing to a poach, if you do like stand in front of the disc, it can be obvious most of the time that you're not going to pick up anybody, which makes it a bit less confusing. Nice
Nice break.
Or, bum. What's the score now? I don't know.
I don't know.
Lost track.
We need.
Anybody in the comments tell us what the score is?
Put the light in there. Oh, it was sunsetting over there.
Oh, pit called. Nice pit call.
I'm trying to listen to whether Harry will say it on the thing.
The songs are such an annoying. If you look at it, you just can see it. Just don't look that way.
That's just weird because you can hear me in the background of the game because I think I'm speaking to Harry. So I'll lower that volume.
Sad. Good defense. That was sad by Nick though.
Yeah.
Nick did not do great there. Although the Andy did good to speed up to get the disc instead of
get in the way and get the positioning. Yeah.
yeah. Got
Huck?
disc in.
What? Oh, that was very nice.
So good.
And look at the dump. Look at the dump.
Yeah, just put it up. Kenji's there. Like.
But we'll allow it if it's a goal. In that situation, if you've gone and got it deep, have everybody else run around and have one person come back and dump, and normally just like dump it to them so you can reset the stall count. Otherwise, you'll be on like stall 5 by the time everybody's through and everybody's started to do cuts, and by that time, you know, you should have looked at your stall count way before.
That's the smart thing to do. But when you've got a player like Kenji or another one's like Felix, it's so tempting just to, you know.
Shut up, Daniel.
Float it.
Oh, stall out. But I'm not sure what the.
What was that hand signal? There you go. He's done it properly now.
It was a foul, and then contact, and then a stall out. Oh, it's 8-7, I think. Who's winning? Is it Warwick?
We are.
I think
Yeah.
so.
I know the final score, so when it ends, I can say the score.
Ooh. Oh, sad. That was a good fight.
Yeah. It's a shame that a Loughborough player
Paddy
was
on
a
defense.
bit taller and had a bit longer arms. Why did
That's
he?
where
That was like a Sid throw. That was a high release when it did not need to be.
Paddy on the defense there just a bit too much. You want to stay pretty much in front of your player most of the time. Like if you're biting all the way out, it's probably not a good thing.
Time should be about now. We started about.
Especially if it's letting the break side open up.
Oh, good cut by Paddy. Unfortunate throw.
I've long forgotten what the score was.
It's quite wet,
Another
isn't
throwing
it?
error.
I thought I knew what it was.
Is it
And
wet?
then half time.
I
Is
thought it
it?
was just cold. I remember it being real cold.
I mean, look at their breath. It's definitely cold. What happened there? I mean, it's goal, but
Two people just cut each other out.
we'll
On the
never
rush.
find out.
I've never
It
seen
was
that
just
end.
cold. No wet.
No way.
Nice dump reset. Yeah, Paddy. Nice work. Kenji's boosted it a little bit too deep though.
Do you know what they need to do? Sometimes when it's messy, call a timeout.
Yeah, could have done. That was
Especially earlier in the game when they were
That was
2-3 points up.
three
Game-
people in the space. I'm just
game
wondering
management.
why. Can some second team player enlighten me as to why you stopped playing Oro? Because it was going real well.
I
I'm
think
not
the
saying
problem
Combat
is
isn't as good, but
there are a lot of throwaways, and so a lot of the time when that happens, you're like, oh, the tactics aren't working. Where it's not that, it's
but not
just.
in the Horo. They transferred to Verb, and then the throwaways happened. So
Okay.
there was a few throwaways in Horo actually. There was some deep throwaways. That's true.
Hindsight, and I know we're not playing it, just watching.
That's true. Oh, Kenji was so close.
Get off the floor, mate.
I think. I mean, his feet were definitely off the floor.
Okay.
This is when.
Oh
Nathan
no!
was-
Oh phew.
Nathan, catch your knees! We wanted to keep Oro, but only like 8 of us knew it. Okay,
Fair enough.
fair enough. Oh, was there a foul call? Oh, absolutely no way that could have been
Yeah.
by anybody. I mean, Nathan was right in the way of it.
It's Loughborough, isn't it, though?
That's a rough.
It's weird, Loughborough. They're getting better for Spirit, but it used to be that they were just generally bad Spirit, except for one or two players that were like insanely nice.
Yeah. Contested. Dan's in. Did you know that we were gonna wonder what was happening?
Yeah,
Contested
I
foul.
always
I
knew
think I
we'd
remember
stream
being on the
this
sideline
game.
being like, what the hell? Oh gosh.
What a hammer!
Knees to the floor. No stall out. This is why, as I'm not a massive fan of teaching anybody who's not been playing for a long
I
time
heard someone say something
side stack, because it requires the thrower to have pretty good skills in like breaking the force.
Yeah, it's breaking the force and hucking. If you can't huck and you're playing side stack, I mean, it's just bad because the defense knows that and just takes away the unders.
Yeah, and you have no
You have no break
no
side
time,
to
no
attack.
break thing. Oh gosh, Paddy got real hit then. The Loughborough guy not being very nice. It was a good D.
Or is that against the rules?
Where is our stack going?
It's not. It's kinky. Good to see. Oh, they're doing an ISO on that.
James had the right idea. He was going to front of stack in the right place. But,
Yeah.
oh god,
Whoa, that's a laser. Oh.
that's sad. Is this sudden death? This must be sudden
I
death.
think so. Yeah, it must be this point.
Tries to take 10 seconds of this. Of effort from everyone on the pitch.
Crazy. The tension is unbearable.
What's going to happen? Leave your predictions in the comments.
It's definitely going to be a turnover.
Well, yeah.
Because some good defense by Scott there. Not so good by Nathan. But getting his face on force. Gonna do it. That's a turnover.
Minute 10 left.
Dun, dun, dun.
No, I don't.
Will it be a huck to goal? No.
Oh no!
No.
No!
Yeah, but for
That's
time.
a catching error.
No, I think it might be like half an hour.
No.
Are we in soft cap yet?
That was them 1 point.
Unless it's sudden death. They can't do it all. Let's go, Scott. Real work, Scott.
Is that Ben Phipps?
No, I think they had a look-alike.
Okay.
Phipps did play on their second team for a while. It was really weird.
Yeah. Yeah, to say that
Damn,
he nearly
that was
got.
definitely within 3 meters.
Where is our stack? I can't see because we've got. Oh, nice pickup. I'm not sure that was meant
It was the intended target.
for James.
Shh.
Oh, who's done?
Someone who doesn't.
Paddy comes back, gets it.
Nice work from Paddy. Ollie should probably move out. Ollie, go away. Ollie, go away.
Oh,
Actively
oh,
prefer to never happen.
oh.
Yeah.
What a bailout.
That's such a
It
goal.
doesn't travel anyway. But it was.
Oh, Bears won Uber one.
Okay.
Okay.
What a way to end the
We
game.
can end it watching an old game. Yeah.
Crazy.
How do you want to sign off? Then I'll end the stream.
Thanks everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed us. Some analysis. Yeah, things to remember. Checking the disc is always really important. It's something that I didn't really think about it until I started doing it at GB Women's this year. We did like a drill which was about checking the disc, and you kind of think, oh yeah, that's actually something which is really important. I should keep doing it, because otherwise you kind of lose track of where the disc is and where your person is and where is important. Next week we shall be doing indoors, dun, 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 which will be fun. But yeah, we'll do a poll for when we're going to do it next week, because, and I might have a different guest coach. Who knows?
Get Harry Law
Maybe
in.
Dan doesn't want to come back, or have one of my coaches, new coaches for this.
This
year.
was actually our handover meeting, so I'm done. Officially out.
Yeah, some coach analysis together, handover. Anyway, we should probably leave it there. Have a good evening, everybody. Stay safe.